He's unguardable.
He's a machine. He just scores.
Don't reach.
Oh! 60 points for James Harden. Westbrook with a slam.
It doesn't matter what scheme or defense you run.
Westbrook, that's incredible.
Let's get it.
Rocket star Russell Westbrook tested positive for COVID-19, putting out a statement on social media that he tested before traveling to Orlando for the restart, but is looking forward to joining his teammates once he's cleared. Our NBA Bubble or Nothing series continues with a look at Westbrook's Rockets. So when the season was suspended, the Rockets were 40-24. They were 6th in the West, with Westbrook scoring the most in the paint in the NBA this season, and teammate James Harden on pace to become the first player to average 30 points per game for 3 straight seasons since MJ. Max, you're up first. Who's more important to the Rockets for this title run? Is it Westbrook or Harden?
This is a trick question. Of course it's James Harden. All due respect to the great Russell Westbrook, who made an adjustment with the Rockets this season, or maybe D'Antoni did, but Westbrook was shooting too many threes. He wasn't hitting hardly any of them. He started just attacking. I mean, like, when a team says, all right, Russ, let's double down on attack mode, which is the only thing he really knows. Duck, and he's been great, no doubt about it. But of course it's James Harden, who's the best player on the team, who's the highest usage rate on the team, who has the highest usage rate on the team, who's had problems in the playoffs in the past. He goes from perennial MVP level player in the regular season to a solid all-star in the playoffs. But solid all-star, like why such the huge drop-off? They need him to be the best player on a championship team, not just an all-star. You ain't going to win with just an all-star as your best player. And so, of course, it comes down to Harden. They had a vulnerable Golden State team a couple of years ago. They had a Game 7 at Houston. They had a million good looks at the basket from 3. They went something like, 3 for 30 at one point, something like that. They had one of the worst shooting nights from 3 of all time. Harden was among the culprits. He could not elevate his game. He did it again last year when I keep mentioning he was looking for the call on Draymond Green jumping under his legs to try to get the whistle instead of looking to hit the shot. Could have won the game right there. Harden has had a bad time in the biggest moments in the playoffs. If that doesn't change, they won't win, period. If it does, and he's shown signs of life, each year you see he's doing certain things better under pressure. If it changes, the Rockets can actually upset everyone and win the whole thing. But for that to happen, their best player, James Harden, has to be their best player and has to be their best player when it matters most, or they don't have a shot.
Well, listen, I don't think it's a trick question at all, and I respectfully disagree with you because to me it's not about who's the best player on the team. We know that's Harden. He's one of the greatest scorers this game of basketball has ever seen, and he's been that for the last several years, but it still couldn't get them over the hump. So you have to surmise that Harden is going to be Harden, even if he upgrades to some degree, which I suspect he will, come playoff time. I just believe in the dude. The bottom line is that's not the key. The key is Russell Westbrook. I would remind you that Russell Westbrook is averaging 27, 8, and 7 at the time that the season stopped. Was suspended. Of course, we got to hope and pray that he comes back healthy, he overcomes the COVID-19 virus, and obviously he'll be better. But even then, look at the personnel they've had. It's because you traded Clint Capella. You've now got Robert Covington. You've got Daniel House. You've got Eric Gordon back, and he's expected to be healthy. So you take all of those things into consideration. Who's the guy that's going to make things go for the rest of them? That's Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook is the guy that's going to be penetrating into the teeth of the defense. He's the one that's going to be kicking it out to wide open shooters. Remember, James Harden launches about 12.6 3-point shots per game. Okay? They are the number 1 team in the NBA in 3-point attempts. They rank 23 in percentages made. Okay? But they rank top 3 in 2-point field goals made. That has a lot to do with Russell Westbrook, not just James Harden. And I'm not saying that Russell is better than James Harden. James Harden is one of the greatest scorers we've ever seen in the history of basketball. He's that lethal. But if we're going to look at the Houston Rockets being coached by Mike D'Antoni, and we're going to be able to say, excuse me, they can win it all, they can win the chip, it's going to have to be Russell Westbrook that propels them there. Remember, when James Harden is scoring, a lot of times he's holding on to the ball, he's dancing on you, he's dribbling the basketball, and everybody else is standing around spectating. Russell Westbrook is in attack mode. He's either going to finish himself or he's going to kick it out to somebody else. He's not as selfish as people proclaim him to be. I look at him as being the key, not the best player on Houston, but he's the key. Russell Westbrook is going, if they win the championship, Russell Westbrook is going to be the reason why. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.